Welcome back everyone. Today's video will cover a quick tutorial on how to write plugin modules for Modulux V2. If you haven't watched the previous video, I highly recommend checking out the overview to make sure that you are informed of how Modulux V2 works. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So to start off, you'll see that we have two elevators here sitting in just a little base plate. This is the group call base model here, so you will find this in the description of the overview video, which I will have linked down in the description below. So if we take a look here in the Explorer, you'll see that we have the controller for one of the elevators. This is elevator 1, which would be the one on the left. Let's go ahead and write a plugin module for this one. So if you go into the controller and go into the plugins folder, you'll see a list of all these plugins here. Ignore all of these. We're going to go ahead and delete this test one because that was used in the demonstration. But let's go ahead and create a new plugin module. So we're going to go ahead and click on this plus icon here, and we're going to click on module script, and this will create and open our new module script. So we can name this whatever you like. So we're going to go ahead and name this as doorstop here. Now, the reason why I'm naming that is because we're going to just make an example module where we're just going to make the door stop halfway. So what we need to do is we're going to start by identifying this as a plugin module. How do we do that? Well, we just have to type this simple code right here, which is going to be function module.init and then the controller value. This will tell Modulux V2 when the controller looks through all these plugin modules. When it finds this plugin module, it will check if it has this init function. If not, it is ignored. So that is why this is needed. Now this controller thing you'll see right here, this argument that's being passed here, you're probably wondering what this does. Well, let's go ahead and find out. So we're just going to go and have it print the entire controller. And make sure we open the output here, and we're just going to run the game. And you'll see, I'll stop the game so it stops any more outputs. You'll see that we have this little thing being printed here. It's a table. If we expand this, you'll see that we have a bunch of data to access. This data is everything that is inside the main controller. So all of this data is what is inside the main controller. So what are we going to do with this exactly? Well, let's take a look, and let's look for door data, which is at the very bottom. Now, since I renamed my module scripted door stop, we are going to just be making a very basic door stop function, which will just stop the doors midway opening, just as an example. So we're going to go ahead and expand this door data function, or this door data stuff right here, and you'll see there is a section called front. Now, since we have named our doors inside the car front doors, that means that we only have front doors. So if we expand that, this is all the data that is currently being used as the front door. So we need to find our stop function here. Again, this is just an example, but this is just how we're going to make this work. As you can see, we found it. Stop equals function. So how are we going to make the door stop then? We have all this data. How are we going to write it? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to go ahead and do controller.door data stop. Oh wait, we need to add the front. So we will run this function right off the bat. Now, if we go ahead and run this, you'll see that right off the bat, nothing really ends up happening. There's no errors. That's good. But you'll see that the elevator seems normal, right? But if we try to open the door opens fine, right? Well, that's probably because we stopped the door too soon and the controller does not recognize it. So we need to go ahead and give it maybe like a task.wait 5, and we'll run it again. Now, if we wait about 3 seconds and then open the door, you'll see that the door stops immediately. This is kind of what we're looking for. So again, inside the plugin module, we have used an internal value. We've used internal data to call this function. This is not accessed outside of any ordinary script. So you need this object here in order to interact with all the values. Like I said, when we printed it, all that data spat out. And as you can see, if we stop the door and try to open it again, it resets. So kind of a straightforward process. Let's go ahead and create another example. Alrighty, so I've just created a new example here, and as you can see, I've made a very simple module called safety brake. And inside this code, we are getting the stat values, and then we get the floor instance of the stat value, and every time its value changes, we're going to check if it's equal to 2. If it's 2, we're just going to call safety brake. So let's go ahead and run it, and we're going to send the elevator up to the second floor. Takes a second to start up when it's idle, and you'll see that once it hits 2, instant safety brake. So the elevator is now completely stuck. You cannot get it to move once you restore it. And, well, there you go. Very simple plugin module, and that's just kind of the basis that I'll be covering in this tutorial. There isn't really anything too much to go through other than this. However, I will provide a list of all the objects that you can use in the future for this controller. So with that being said, I hope you guys found this quick little tutorial on Modulux V2 plugin modules helpful, and if you guys would like to see more of these kinds of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.